7 Secret Phrases Men Say When Really in Love. That title might sound like clickbait, right? But let me ask you something deeper. Have you ever felt loved but didn't hear it? Have you ever questioned a man's heart because he didn't say, "I love you," the way you imagined? See, the truth is, men don't always speak love in the way you expect. They speak it in code. And unless you know how to listen, not with your ears, but with emotional intelligence, you might miss the very moments he was giving you everything. Here's the reality: men are taught to show up, not open up. They're told that vulnerability is weakness, that silence is strength, and so, instead of confessing their love, they embed it into small phrases, subtle actions, secret words. But if you decode those hidden signals, you'll stop wondering if he loves you and start seeing just how loudly he already does. Let me tell you something personal. When I was younger, I thought love had to be big, loud fireworks and grand gestures, but over time, especially in my hardest moments, I learned that love whispered is sometimes more powerful and love shouted from a rooftop. That's when I started paying attention to what I said, to what other men said when we were really in love. And listen, once you hear these secret phrases, you'll never hear them again. You'll start noticing the way a man says, "Let me know," where you don't have to go through that alone. And suddenly, when you get home more and you don't, suddenly, it won't just be words, it'll be a window into his soul to say saints about understanding how genuine men express what they're afraid. For he died and regarded men as a boy who once got punished for feeling too much and understand. And every time, "I'm proud of you," he says something like, "I'm proud of you," or "Men show off." I want you to keep thinking, is this really how men show love? I want you to keep watching this and think clarity, because men say how men show off. I want you to too, but you Ethan would get down white, just giving you time, walking you through the 7 phrases and walking you through dear, then you'll them. Now let's get into it. Let's crack the code. Secret phrase number 1, did you eat today? Now look, that might sound small, ordinary, but let me break this down for you. When a man asks if you've eaten, he's not just checking your meal schedule. He's showing you that you matter. He's saying your well-being is on my mind even when you're not around. That's emotional intelligence at play. Most people look for love in the big declarations, the movie moments, but man, we reveal ourselves in moments that feel like nothing to the world, but everything to the one we love. When a man is truly invested in you, he starts protecting you on the most basic levels: food, sleep, safety, peace. It's not always romantic, but it's real. See, we're taught to be providers, to take care of what we value. So if a man's checking whether you've eaten, it's not about food, it's about nurture, it's about you're on my mind, even in your silence. Now here's what Swile Dives said that phrase more times than I can count, even to women. I couldn't yet say I love you to, because it felt too exposed, too vulnerable, but asking, did you eat? That felt safe, and still, it meant the same thing deep down: I care. I see you. You matter. So next time you hear that line, don't brush it off, don't say, "Of course, why?" And leave it at that. Let it in, let it speak. The unspoken secret phrase number 2, text me when you get home. Now this one woo-wit slayered to the untrained ear. It sounds routine, polite, like basic courtesy, but to a man who's in love, it's protection, disguised as permission. He's not just saying, "Update me," he's saying, "I want to know you're safe, because you're now a part of my world. And if anything happens to you, I feel it in my soul." See, we don't always know how to express anxiety when we care, so we pack it into logistics, safety checks, location, sharing simple instructions: text me when you get home. But the subtext is always this: I don't rest easy until I know you're okay. That's a sign of love right there. Because let's be honest, we don't ask everyone to check in. We only ask the ones we fear losing. And if you've ever been loved like that, you know the difference between someone. If you know the difference to as if you know the difference to watch you and sell as you and some you too ways to. If you read and it's a list down and you be, you start state bill 2 year can stage them das demonstrates this bench teaching to be rain tiny choose the stage for in series, query dust out space you then sell the cuidos ming del range to sounds mam shaman tom belvin selvin telling senche, they'll be rex then telling tonant. Element German, Salif, mentally telling fight to when toning telling to children telling shit you telling me, it we only until man tepi 10 children telling the ticking to link the deck and we went to chicken. Let's keep going. We're peeling back the curtain on how it really sounds when a man doesn't have the words, but his heart's already committed. Secret phrase number 3, I got you. Now, this one man, this hits different. But it's not just reassurance, it's responsibility. It's a man stepping into your storm and saying you're not in this alone, not anymore. When a man says, I got you, he's not just being sweet, he's making a spiritual commitment. Even if he doesn't realize that's what he's doing, he's saying if it gets heavy, I'll carry some of it. If it falls apart, I'll help rebuild it. If you fall, I'll be the one to catch you before the ground. But you ever hear that from a man? Don't take it lightly because for us, that's one of the hardest things to say. We're wired to be self-reliant, to handle our worlds under control. So when we tell someone else, I got you, it means we're letting them to lean on us, to trust us, to need us. That's big. That's love stepping into action. And sometimes we don't hear to say, it's say, then say. During the good moments we say, when you're crying, when you're crying, when light hits you to sort of even know how to get to it out to you don't do true it that you be true go quarrel and way to if you to fit that away you just show I you the four and you did celebrator we're still at Christ now be tuned you to be you to you to isn't just there bright you the wind that shit session is right chin chun worker is like you through our bodies must swing my extent starch this what it shouldn't be fright skin station bis use mount you bis right stay in touch with Miss Lodge but then to open me to swat to take you the course but it's what just is melt fix you thumping back. You're still here. It tells me something. It tells me you want to understand love at a deeper level, not just what it looks like, but when it sounds like, when it's quiet, when it's growing, it's crying, and it's growing. And if that's you, you're already ahead of the game because most people walk into love with their ears closed and then wonder why they feel unheard. Let's keep going. Secret phrase number 5. I want to show you something. Now, this one might sound innocent, even random, but listen closely because when a man says, I want to show you something, it's not about the thing, it's about the sharing. We don't open our world to just anyone we don't say, unless you mean something, because that phrase in the right context means I want you to understand me. I want to give you access to a piece of who I am. Could be a song they play, saying Emery, a vision, a movie scene that broke us or made us. That phrase says, I'm not just inviting you into my story. Let me tell you from personal experience. When I say to someone, I want to show you this spot, or I want you to hear this track, it's never about the location. It's about the feeling tied to me that I haven't have it out freely. Men are masters at hiding pain, or sometimes showing you something. To use something is our way of letting you see what words and never say it's a gesture, as this matters to me and now so do you. So if a man ever takes you somewhere and says, I've never brought anyone here before, believe him, that sacred ground, not just physically, emotionally, it means he's letting you in. That's not easy for us because we've been taught to guard our hearts like a fortress, but love softens the walls. And that phrase, I want to show you something, is one of the first cracks in the armor. It's the whisper before the confession. Secret phrase number 6, we'll figure it out. Man, this one gives me chills because this phrase, when it's said with love, is one of the most powerful things a man can offer. See, life is full of uncertainty, relationships, own problems, bills, family, drama, insecurities, dreams that sometimes aligns when everything feels messy, when things get heavy, when you're stressed or anxious or just don't know what to do. And who loves you won't say that's your problem. He won't ghost. He won't get defensive. He'll say, we'll figure it out. Now, let me explain why that's so big. It's because men are conditioned to avoid what they can't control, to shut down when things get emotionally complex. But when he stays, when he sits with you in that uncertainty, when he doesn't try to win the argument or escape the pressure, but instead says, we'll figure it out together, that's intimacy. Says we'll figure it as intimacy. Oh, because you know what that means. It means he's not planning an escape route. He's not trying an escape route. He's not planning to solve it or Sarvitic in the tradition, not always romantic in the traditional sense there, says lied. It's no chocolates button. It's safety, emotional safety. Emotional safety is love's most safety. Emotional safety, emotional safety is love's most safety. Emotional safety was emotional safety. I'm not alone in this. Now, let me say something, especially to the men watching. If you've ever looked your partner in the eye during a storm and say, we'll figure it out, don't underestimate what you did. You gave her peace, you gave her partnership, and that's what love feels like, not just butterflies, but solid ground. Now, if you're feeling something shift right now, if you're reflecting on the way a man has spoken to you or not let that awareness settle in, because this kind of love, it's rare, but it's real, and it does not stay when it's the most telling. Is the one but telling is the most telling. It's the one is the oneness and just in one. If they love to light, to grow in each and ship the same way again. All right, we walk through six ancient fantasy phrases. So far, each one is so far each one carrying the weight of love. This adds this casual bag days. If it's casual evade the way this not this adds this not just this different best this last and that's different. If not it just bashing, it's not just what's not to you and to you. It is say choose knows led to you the way you stage then to you when I'm to his knowledge there the way is knowledge they cross known to you. You want to call a shake right. This short cute style chudy chuk when root thing with no stick white here his bitch. Sangweeds not here. You take white shit, curtailed to stomach way, fatness and what at you, cutie patch and the thing with arch cheese meant to you with shit cheese, did feel choose.